for game number 1.
We've been focusing so much on gold laner matchups on day 1 and day 2, and it's good that we are looking at the roamers right now, right? I think Ogwen deserves a lot more spotlight. I know we shined the limelight on him on day 1 when he was on the Minotaur, but I think yesterday he was definitely, you're looking at Kaltizi, you're looking at Super Marco, and Ogwen was there as one of the best supporting casts ever. And today I think he has met his match, which is Super Vin. But when you look at the bans, Kadita and the Ling banned out, both respect ban. Faramis and Valentina also taken out.
Yep, still cutting down the mage pool most of the time. I think this is what AP BREN did against Esports Legends yesterday, cut down the mage pool, right? So I think right now, first pick Bigatron Alpha may go for the Eve, if not AP BREN, or unless AP BREN takes that away, right? Bigatron Alpha right now, they've already respected Kyle TZ's links. We saw that yesterday. I think apart from that, maybe you can look into bans such as the Uranus as well, just in case if you have no answer to... because right now, particularly in this meta, like Dyrolf is this old rusty gun that you left in the cupboard. You just have to blow off the dust, and I don't think anybody is actually, you know, well-trained while using Dyrolf to counter against Uranus in this particular meta. And now Bigatron Alpha just decides to burn bridges right now, just taking away Super Vin and Awkward's hero. That's a Kaja going away. This may hint to a Joy. AP BREN right here, are you going to ban the Joy or are you going to ban the Eve? Because I got a feeling that if you ban the Joy right here, no, they're going to open both. Paquito taken away by AP BREN.
Yeah, I think if you look at Super Vin and Ogwen, right, there's a high chance that Bigatron Alpha pivots towards the Franco for Super Vin if they really want to.
Yes.
We also have kind of, when you see AP BREN on that red side, it is a big indicator that they can go for the Novaria first phase just because you don't have that Ling. I know we talked about the Fanny being one of the biggest threats. We also saw Hayabusa yesterday as well coming out. The Uranus could be one of the first phase that Bigatron goes for, and the Fanny will be the option. And that kind of locks out the possibility of a Novaria for AP BREN.
Yeah, but that also locks in the chances for Bigatron Alpha to go for the Novaria too. So AP BREN right now, I think they're unfazed. There's still the Eve that could be snap pick right off the bat. It's a very safe mage that you can rock in the mid lane role. And Fredrin is also wide open at the same time. When the cables fly around you, when the Fanny lands, you can always use the energy eruption, taunt everybody up, and it also couples really well with the Eve at the same time. Not only just that, you also allow the enemy to guess maybe this Fredrin is going to be the XP lane. But right now, looking at the stats that we're looking at, most of the time you see 80% of Fredrins go into the jungle instead.
I think it definitely has fallen out of the XP lane, right? I feel like he, at one point before the new emblem change, he was in a very weird position where he was just constantly getting clobbered. But now with this new emblem system, I think he definitely is back in the pool, but more suited as a jungle role. Grok and Arlott though, I love these two picks against the Fanny.
Yeah, definitely, right? The Grok is definitely a very good counter against a Fanny. Fanny with the steel cables will definitely end the Fanny at a wall. It works like a Moskov, right? Like the Grok could just jump in with a wild charge, stun the Fanny down, and all of a sudden the Fanny is easy pickings for the side of AP BREN, right? Arlott as well, a lot of disposition, a lot of big CCs, AoE CCs. Now, Bigatron Alpha right now, the Novaria doesn't look like a very good idea. I think the Eve is actually quite good, but instead, no, if you look at Super Vin, he's going to go for his Angela to work together. It's like the Angela Ling one more combo, but it's a little bit different in terms of the flavor. It's going to go on top of that Fanny, and then there's a Harif on the other side. Look at Bigatron Alpha, they're super confident that they can rock this composition because AP BREN has already selected an Arlott in the EXP lane, and that Grok will go into the roam. So no Akai unless AP BREN sports a jungle Akai just to counter that Harif.
Yeah, and at the same time, you also have two heroes that you can latch on as the Angela, right? You can most likely will be the Fanny, but when you need it on the Harif, you can do that as well. Very insane early to mid-game tempo so far coming up from Bigatron Alpha, which AP BREN in their previous games have been focusing on a lot. Now we see a little bit of that shift. Joy getting picked up. This reveals the jungler instantly for AP BREN. Not really demonstrating much of the flex that they have been sporting in the previous series. This time, it's a bit more telegraphed.
Unless Joy goes to the mid lane, right? That could also be a possibility. Yeah. And if you want to also throw AP BREN off, instead of rocking a gold lane Harif, you can also run him in the mid lane. So you got dishy-dashy heroes for both of these two mid lanes. But of course, if you take a look, AP BREN understands the threat of that Uranus not going to be wanting to face that boy at all, because they know, look at the roster, as this now is a very bursty wombo combo. They don't have the DPS to take down the Uranus if the Uranus snowballs out of skill.
I do kind of like the Uranus ban as well, because you looked at what Bigatron Alpha already has, right? With that Uranus in the pool, AP BREN, they're gonna have their hands full. You have to deal with a Uranus that already heals up pretty much with Consecration, and then you have an Angela. No, thank you. We don't want to deal with that. And Bigatron Alpha are starting to shut down those early game bullies, right? Brody is one of the biggest bullies as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Beatrix taken up by Bigatron Alpha in the last ban.
Yeah, I feel like Bigatron Alpha may look at cutting down marksman pool, but I don't know why. I just get the weird feeling that AP BREN, taking away the Esmeralda. I don't know. It's just that gut feeling that AP BREN may go a little bit unorthodox right here, since Bigatron Alpha has already opened their hands, saying that, hey, we're going to go for a mage in the gold lane. Maybe AP BREN wants to do something like that as well. Sport 2 fighters into the side lanes, and then we play around the pressure around mid, using the mobility of the Joy if Joy goes into the mid lane.
Actually, we get a Florian ban from the side of Bigatron Alpha as well, so wanting to shut down a bit of the support, just in case AP BREN wants to match the Angela. You essentially just take out both of the more meta support. Now we don't see Estes too often nowadays, and it's probably not an Estes game anyways for AP BREN. The question is, do they want to hide that Roma, or do they want to hide that potential mid laner? Not Roma, the marksman. There it is, Beatrix picked up. Very, very straightforward for AP BREN.
Yeah, now AP BREN is just showing off everything, right? This is a very squishy composition. Joy, if she doesn't really get the ultimate, she's gonna get bursted down by the Fanny, right? Same could be said over to that Beatrix as well. So positioning is gonna be very key for the side of AP BREN. But then again, in the early game, if Harith goes to the gold lane against the Beatrix needs to abuse the fact that she has the range to deal and safely farm underneath the turret. And once level 4 hit, Harith does still have that power spike as compared to the Beatrix. So Beatrix looking to scale comfortably more into the later parts of the game. AP BREN just needs a strong front line to protect, especially the Beatrix, right? If you take a look at where Bigatron Alpha is going, that's a Fredrin going to the EXP lane. Franco for Super Vid instead. That's going to be a mid lane Angela that Bigatron Alpha is sporting.
Yeah, we talked about the Franco being a very good possibility for Super Vid, right? Just not in this context where they have the Angela as the second pick. So Bigatron Alpha, massive deviation. Well, not massive deviation, but a bit of that element with this entire sequence. So very excited to see how this game is going to turn out. AP BREN now looking to decide where this Joy wants to go. I mean, there's a high chance she goes into the jungle, but if that's the case, probably the Eve would be that perfect mid lane that AP BREN is looking for.
Eve, I don't know. Now looking at Eve,
Joy mid, okay.
No, it's a Joy mid. But I was thinking about the Eve at the same time, Husky, but I feel like if I put the Eve in the mid lane, she's going to be stationary, allowing Harith to just land down fire from afar. The Eve is going to get bursted down, so it's a lot better if I were to have a mid lane that's more mobile, right? That's why Joy going to the mid lane, going to be controlled by few. Instead, Kaltizi, on the other hand, will be going into that Martis jungle.
Whoa, what a draft we have from both teams at the very start of the day, right? We said this is one of the most anticipated matchups, and I think both teams have already delivered from the drafting phase. We see, Bigatron Alpha in very good spirits, getting very comfort heroes for themselves, especially Super Vin, right? No Kaja, but there's a Franco anyways. We're seeing the Angela mid into the Joy mid. That is also a matchup that you don't get to see every day. This is setting up to be a very interesting game number 1. Any win conditions that these two teams need to look out for?
For Bigatron Alpha, shut down the Beatrix in the early game, get Harith to scale, get that Stardom side first, right? And of course, if the Fanny can also shut down the Beatrix, that will be even better. So AP BREN right here, I feel like they're in this defensive mode instead, right? They're actually, their roster is mostly playing reactive against the game plan of Bigatron Alpha. Bigatron Alpha, by the way, doesn't really have a strong mid lane. Maybe because of the Joy, they can help to push that in and then start hard invading and start contesting Super Cans Purple, like, what you see some of these teams do, like, play the purple buff like a turtle instead.
Oh, here it is. Game 1 between Bigatron Alpha and AP BREN. I mean, AP BREN once more not just looking to end this Indo dynasty. I feel like there's no Indo dynasty at this point because the Philippines are just wrecking everyone. Aside from Onyx winning MSC, right? That is definitely one of the bigger achievements. But we see this early invade with the wall, blocking out Super Vin, forcing him to blow that flicker unwillingly as AP BREN continues to put on this pressure. This Grok itself, massive threat that allows AP BREN to continuously do this.
Yeah, and Awkward actually in the early game does a lot of damage as well. And even now, they're actually putting Kaltizi at the same time just to limit the farm of our poor little Super Ken. He's a little bit low. 3-man, 4-man hard invading. This is exactly how AP BREN wants to limit Bigatron Alpha. Don't forget, orange buff is super wide open for the clear. Kaltizi still holding on to the Retribution, and now Super Ken would need to try to take it away from Kaltizi.
They're trying to fight this. Kaltizi not looking too healthy, separated from his team, and the greed paid off, at least in favor of Bigatron Alpha. First blood for Super Ken.
And once again, AP BREN is making the same mistakes as they did in game number 1 against Esports Legends, right? They're super greedy. They're overextended just a little bit more just to try to limit this Fanny, right? But now, if you notice how Awkward and Flaptizi is just hard invading Bigatron Alpha once again. Few this time around, trying to join the fight, doesn't really have number 4. Super Ken actually a little bit behind, struggling to secure his own orange buff. He's able to secure it, but Kaltizi is really ahead because of that invade. It's kind of weird that the jungle can invade Bigatron Alpha, yet still be a level ahead as compared to his counterpart.
I think it's also because that they were able to take, I believe, at least one of the small camps, right? So
yeah,
you get that minor XP lead, but it's not too big of a fuse bad because the Fanny is now going to get the purple buff by surrendering the turtle with that first blood in hand. And you look at the early game, we say that Bigatron Alpha, they can play a pretty fast mid-game tempo, but at level 1 to 3, I mean, they don't have the damage to fight AP BREN. Not when Ogre is running at you with the Scrop.
Exactly. Evidently right now, you can feel like Key on in the mid lane, but hold on a second. The Super Ken right deep in enemy line, Feel trying to do a lot of damage right here. Has to bounce away. Super Ken, even with Angela in tow as well.
With the hard guard, just keeping him alive, but again, the damage department not really checking out just yet. I believe Feel is running that Aegis, so you do have that extra protection when you head into these fights, when you kind of dive right in, and it's very important, right, when you're dealing with something like the Angela Fanny, you're dealing with hard crowd controls like the Franco Bloody Hunt, you just want to stay alive as long as possible. Super Marco able to get away from that Fanny, and Super Vin also not getting the iron hook, he's just going to flicker forward for the kill, and that's 2 for Bigatron Alpha.
Yeah, and that's exactly how Bigatron Alpha wants to play. AP BREN right now needs to try to slow down and limit Super Ken, but Super Ken, well, having that one up is actually really good, but Super Ken right now, Kaltizi deep under the money lines as well, tried to commit it by the side of Awkward as well, and now AP BREN looking to find more from the side of Bigatron Alpha's jungle.
They're gonna flicker forward from Zorizo to get the taunt out, and perhaps they will find one, and that's gonna be Awkward this time. Pulled right back, a second kill for Super Ken.
Yeah, Super Ken is crazy, right? Like, how he's able to just still survive under all that pressure that AP BREN is putting on him. And Super Ken is just like this coal that the more amount of pressure that you put him to, he becomes the diamond. Speaking about diamond, he's already got his money's worth right now with the bait he's built as well. He's gonna burst down Squishy's side, for example, Few, and for example, Super Marco. And this is also the reason why Few needs to rock that Aegis. If not, he's gonna get bursted down. The Vengeance is not gonna work in this particular match against Bigatron Alpha because second is actually a Harif, right? So Vengeance doesn't really work well against him. Now this time around, Bigatron Alpha looking to return the favor of the early game.
Super Vin does spot out Kaltizi taking the orange buff, but not able to stop it either way. Bigatron Alpha working on the turtle already. Flaptizi will be there first. Zorizo being the bodyguard for his team. AP BREN showing up. It's only just Kaltizi though. You have that Key is keeping him at bay as we see that kill on top. Super Marco goes down to Sakin, so Bigatron Alpha continuing to play to the tempo.
Yeah, and Bigatron Alpha doing that win con, right? Limiting Super Marco so that he doesn't really scale comfortably into the late game. AP BREN on the other hand, top side, they will lose that top side turret because of Super Marco going down right now. AP BREN, I feel like they're wasting a lot of time right here trying to take down Zorizo. Zorizo is more than gladly taking that one. Decimation even committed.
I mean, there's a hard guard to keep Zorizo alive, and after all of that, 2 big ultimates, and AP BREN couldn't get it done. And that's also in consideration that Zorizo still hasn't used that ultimate, right? And look at the amount of gray health he has. 1 blast of the Great Sword, he's going to heal back at least half of the damage that he's taken. So overall, Bigatron Alpha still winning out in the health department, but AP BREN, they want to contest this. Steal straight to the back. Super Ken spotted out already. He's going to jump right in with the steel cables, try to take this turtle away from AP BREN. Kaltizi will win the retreat fight, and they will take care of Super Ken with the help of Flaptizi.
Nice knockout right there by the side of AP BREN just to limit Super Ken from taking the turtle buff. It's actually how Bigatron Alpha doesn't want to play into it, right? Like, there you go. That's also second going in Zaman Force.
Trying to use the Chrono Dash. Ogwen completely out of position, and Sakin trying to chase after him. Open will be able to gain some distance. The help of his teammate, he's gonna get outfield, playing with fire, literally. Dealing with Saken and Key together. I mean, all things considered, right? AP BREN off to a slightly rough start, but you look at the network league, they are actually pretty much even.
Yeah, and it's also surprising, like Bigatron Alpha was the one that has a lot of pressure. If you take a look at most of the goal earned, Saken is already there and all the way up top. And Super Marco, on the other hand, like couple of heroes down, which is bad for the side of AP BREN because Super Marco needs that item to scale. He's already lost his top side farming capability already, so he has to join in the mid lane instead, right? So Saken is snowballing out of control. AP BREN cannot reach. Sorizo bought a lot of time at that turtle fight. Kaltizi is now slightly behind. Even with Super Ken. Don't forget, Super Ken in the early game was the one that is behind in the levels.
There's got Kaltizi as well in his own jungle. Kaltizi getting ran down. Zorizo also coming in. Kaltizi trying to mitigate all of the crowd control, but he's going to get bursted down very, very quickly. It doesn't matter if he has to decimate. He's the one that goes down. It's Super Vin. What a hook on the Flapteezy. He's going to try and dash around with the Vengeance. Can't get the stun on the Key, unfortunately. They get the Wild Charge onto Super Vin as Fuel comes in for the cleanup. Zorizo will not be able to help.
Yeah, the nice Bloody Hunt coming out from Super Vin, but unfortunately, after burning away that Bloody Hunt onto Kaltizi, they don't really have any more priority. But now Flapteezy in a spot of trouble.
It's a bit ambitious, right? Trying to get the final slash onto Super Ken and ends up going down. Good cover from Key. I mean, this Angela, this puppet on the string, does mess with you a little bit.
Yeah, AP BREN's losing two side lanes, right? The side lanes, especially in the EXP lane, Flapteezy is too busy trying to limit the Super Ken from snowballing, and that plan ultimately failed. AP BREN can only look to scale into his late game when Few can comfortably run down somebody, but he's taking a lot of damage from second early on.
Ogwen absorbing the Iron Hook, so Bigatron Alpha can't get any sort of catch. That being said, AP BREN are not in a position to contest this turtle at all. Have to deal with the mid wave. They gotta secure this purple buff for Kaltizi. So that means Bigatron Alpha, they will call dips on the turtle.
Yep, there's no contest at all. AP BREN, don't forget, Saken is already online already, and they're looking to fight right here. AP BREN, oh, hold on a second, they're having other ideas.
It's gonna be Kaltizi of all people getting hooked. He's trying to get away with the Mortal Coil. Just at the edge, clipped by the Chrono Blast from Saken, and he's gonna go down. Flapteezy dashing around, running out of Demon Mark, knocked out by Zorizo. Ogwen can't provide any assistance. Flapteezy just trying to buy time, but he's gonna get tamed down. And Bigatron Alpha finds 2 kills for themselves.
Yeah, this is why AP BREN is so afraid of Bigatron Alpha. This is the kryptonite of AP BREN. You know, Bigatron Alpha proving themselves worth. They are looking to end the dynasty of the Filipinos, and now they're doing it right here in Game 1. Bigatron Alpha. And so much pressure was put into Super Ken. He scaled out of control. And then don't forget, you also got Zorizo buying so much time against AP BREN to pull the attention away from Super Ken. And AP BREN bit that problem. And now they lose like one turtle away. And Bigatron Alpha, they know they have AP BREN has no answer towards Saken. And they also secure the Lord that will be marching up top.
A lot of responsibility for Oakland to just absorb all of these Iron Hooks because AP BREN, you have crowd control mitigation, that's pretty cool, but the damage of Bigatron Alpha is out of this world. An attempt with the final slash, but Zorizo is just gonna dash out of it, and that means one big ultimate down on the side of AP BREN. They try to stave out this wave, the Iron Hook does go wide, so AP BREN, they know that this tier 1 mid has to stay alive.
Yeah, they're just putting everybody on guard duty in the mid lane, right? But now they still need to focus around the side lanes because the side lanes are being pushed up with the Lord Intel right here. Super Bin catch a few.
That's gonna be the Aegis Shields. Good final slash to cancel that one. Few will dash away to get rid of Super Vin. Zorizo getting a taunt, but it's not enough as Saken gets blasted by Super Marco. 2 for AP BREN. Massive shutdown for them as Super Ken is gonna try and show up. Some sort of cleanup will find Few, but that is pretty much it. Top tier 2 ends up going down. Mid tier 1 finally fallen. Super Ken unleashed. Flapteezy, Kaltizi trying to hold this together, but Flapteezy is gonna instantly get cut down as Super Ken continues to stay alive. Kaltizi looking for a decimate, but he keeps him in place and locks him down like the puppet he is. Oakland wants to help, but Kaltizi is slowly getting whittled down. Bigatron Alpha salvaged the fight.
Yeah, they're trying to salvage it right here, right? KTZ a little bit wounded right there. Tried to land a decimation onto Supercan, but not in time. Don't forget, if you know how key is just slowing every single one for the side of AP BREN down, that's where the Ice Cream one really working very well for Key, right? This is a very annoying. AP BREN constantly getting permanent slowed, and then Saken with his armor force also permanently slowing everybody down, and then, you know, you just get bursted down by Super Ken and also second. Speaking about items, just take a look. There is a Ice Cream one for the side of the Angela by right, because I saw it just now. And then there's also the fact that there is, you know, the Flap TZ slowly building towards a Thunder Belt. This is pure damage control for the side of AP BREN right now, but at the very least, Super Marco does have the two key items, VOD and the Malefic Roar. Maybe they can look to fight right there, but Wind of Nature, is that the item you want to go for?
It is Final Slash to get onto Win. Doesn't have the iron hook. Dorizo will put his body in front. Been fishing for any target, and there it is. It's going to be the Mortal Qual straight into the Decimate. Super Bin instantly goes down as AP BREN tries to bowl right to Bigotron Alpha. Everyone is low. As Sakin survives, that's the most important member for Bigotron Alpha. It's a 1-for-2 trade.
Yeah, AP BREN would have ended very badly for AP BREN right there. They're fighting Bigotron Alpha in a choke point where the Zaman Force and this Chrono Blast right there, like, look at the damage that he can output everybody, especially if AP BREN stick together like that. And don't forget, Super Ken zippy-zapping around in that wall. This is, in order to fight Bigotron Alpha, you really cannot fight them in these choke points. AP BREN needs to select a big open field so that they can come in from different angles. Ogwen, yeah, pressure on him right here to set up a very nice wall charge to stun everybody up. But Saket is on this Purify, does have the Purify online, so AP BREN needs to look out for that one. And now Bigotron Alpha looking to try to take the Lord away from AP BREN.
They're gonna try and do it before Super Ken arrives. Super Ken goes in with the steel cables, and the retro is still right there for Bigotron Alpha. AP BREN, they've lost the objective, so they gotta win the fight. Saken, though, taken care of by KTZ. Maybe there's a chance for AP BREN as Bigotron Alpha sent on the run.
Yeah, that's good pickings for the side of AP BREN, but unfortunately Super Ken, the retro finger is a lot better than KTZ this time round. Bigotron Alpha literally making, oh, hold on a second, Super Ken.
Be careful, and just keep dashing in like that. Flap TZ baited beyond the tower, and Super Ken gets away. The iron hook on the Flap TZ, and he ends up getting traded back, and AP BREN fighting up a bit more than they could chew, but Super Marco is still alive. Dorizo taking out the damage. Super Bin right there. Dorizo going to the back, looking for Super Marco. They lose Bin, and Super Ken shows up, and now in the choke point, once more decimated by Ogwen. As Super Ken falls, Dorizo dropping low as well. AP BREN, well, they salvaged that fight for sure. Dorizo still wants more, but I'm not really sure if this is the fight that you want to take. As Spear will try to run down Key in the back line, but unfortunately couldn't have the damage. Counter back by Dorizo again. Good wall from Ogwen to separate the battle lines. AP BREN, they will get out, but that top inhibitor has fell to the Lord. Mid-tier 2 will fall. AP BREN, what an expensive fight.
Yeah, Zorizo, that is the fight they are looking for, because what Bigotron Alpha is doing is just slowing down AP BREN. AP BREN, you know, they were bloodthirsty just a little bit. They went off their discipline chart, and then all of a sudden, because of that, that Lord open up the side, the top lane and also the bottom lane. If you take a look at this instant replay right here, you can see how the wall being built actually protected Key so much, and Super Ken coming in, dipping out all the time. Unfortunately, Ogwen will be able to shut them right there. Zorizo just buying enough time for Bigotron Alpha to push down the lanes, not by their own heroes, but by sheer macro.
Yeah, and that's the kind of Fredrin that I love to see. Just the unkillable Demon King right in the midst of the fight.
I like the fact that
this is closer than I thought, right?
Yeah, I like the fact that the Fredrin literally body blocked and really wanted to fight. And instead of actually pushing down turrets, he's using the mid side lane to push. Fight a lot of time for AP BREN. So AP BREN right now just need to, you know, consolidate just a little bit more. Bigotron Alpha right now in a more prime position. Look at the turrets. There's only one that's down for the top side. Damage to the board mostly goes over the side of Saken and also Sorizo. Don't forget, Sorizo as a Fredrin also does a lot of damage based on his HP, because it scales very well into his HP.
Just a minor 2.4k gold advantage for Bigotron Alpha, so all things considered, this is still not a done deal yet. AP BREN holding on very, very well, but now they have to constantly deal with the side lanes. Lord coming up in less than 20 seconds as well. Ogwen, let's get the barrier at the purple buff, but AP BREN can't find any follow-up, and this purple buff, if it goes over to Super Ken, then it'll be a bit of a minor problem for AP BREN to deal with, and that will be the case.
No, I think it's given over to Sakan. Sakan needs a purple buff better more because of the fact that he's actually quite mana hungry as a Harif as well. Now Zorizo once again buying a lot of time for the side of AP BREN. Oh, sorry, it actually went for Super Ken as well. So double down on the purple buff. Sakan wouldn't be able to get it. I think Ogwen with the wall trying to reset the Lord, so Bigatron Alpha shouldn't try to pull that Lord a little bit too far. AP BREN this time round, in pure defensive mode right here, right? Like Joy not very strong in comfort in clearing the lanes, especially for a fight.
Kautizi? What a hook! He's gonna find Kautizi himself, excuse me, as the big damage comes from Super Marco. Wild charge is perfect. The Super Urban gets knocked up into the air and instantly clamped down by Kautizi. It's a 1-for-2 trade again, as Few will be the sacrificial lamb. But Super Marco, what is this madman flicker for? Looking for Saken. If he dies, it's gonna be great. Super Marco trying to save the game, and he might have just done it. Key, this is not his fight to be in, as AP BREN salvaging this entire game.
That's crazy, right? So I love the fact when the marksman knows the limits, flickers forward instead of backwards, right? He's not afraid of Saken, even though Saken is the one that putting him down to the dumpster in the early game. But look at where Super Ken's at. He's actually poised to try to steal this Lord away. I don't think Pikachu Alpha is there. Here he comes.
Yeah, just gonna gun down Super Ken, not even with the hard guard is enough to save him. Key, oh boy,
Marco.
run, little go, run! Super Marco is after him. And AP
Super
BREN,
Marco is big
I mean,
right
they
now.
are big. He is absolutely massive. Super Marco, Superman of AP BREN.
Man, Super Marco is so big right now, right? Like, you thought that he's actually put down behind Bigatron Alpha, was able to shut Super Marco down, and Bigatron Alpha, this is exactly what they're worried about. That's why they're putting Saken as a Harif down into the gold lane to try to limit Super Marco, and now AP BREN has already started to pick the scale. You said that the 2K thing, yeah, it kind of works in the favor of AP BREN, even though the gold lead goes over the side of Bigatron Alpha. Bigatron Alpha, because of that 2K gold lead, all of a sudden they lost so much, right? They lost, like, you know, the mid lane now with the Lord marching up top at the same time. AP BREN is actually shoving down bot as well. There's still one man down, finally just coming out just in time, but the damage is already done.
I think he banished rage used as well, forcing all the flickers out. Super Ken, good hook from Super Vin to shut down Ogwen. No more grog. Super Ken trying to slice through the members of AP BREN. Kautizi running away. He's gonna get knocked out by Zorizo. As Fuse in the back line, trying to run down Saken. Saken still alive. Chrono dashing all the way out. As AP BREN cannot fight this. Flapteezy just trying to buy time. He also falls. As Bigatron Alpha, they stave off AP BREN. But this entire game has been stabilized. We're even Stevens right now. Both teams not having a side lane inhibitor.
Yeah, AP BREN right now, you know, that fight right there just bought them enough time. It's basically giving what Zorizo did to them earlier just now. AP BREN forced the fight right there. Bigatron Alpha needs to try to defend the side lanes, but they're a little bit too busy. Zorizo tried to make a play right here. The Appraiser's Wrath landing down was able to clear up or basically half HP most of the members of AP BREN and allowing Saken to just come in for the cleanup right now. AP BREN, they have 2 men short this time around. Bigatron Alpha, they had the manpower advantage. They're trying to go in. It's going to be the Bandit's Rage that pushes away, putting a wall for safety. They're protecting this final bastion with everything they've got.
And thankfully Ogwen came back in time so he could kind of block the iron hook. But Few fishing for some members of Bigatron Alpha, couldn't really get close to them. Maybe BREN gonna have the full team back up. Lord will be up next, the 4th one in 50 seconds. This is the most even game we had, right? Expectations have been met between these two teams.
Yeah, Pascal's already built by the side of Super Marco and even a Brute Force rest play. Kautizi knows that he needs to be a tank. I think he even sold off the Hunter Strike as well, just to provide even more tankiness in his team. And Flapteezy, look at him, also going pure tank. Most of the damage are locked behind Few and Super Marco as well. As long as Super Marco stays alive, Super Bin is looking for fishing. His prime target is definitely Super Marco. Few right near, already burning off away the ultimate. Bigatron Alpha just guarding this Lord Pit. They won the Lord priority, but Super Ken can rotate and fix the waves very quickly and then jump back to maybe surprise Retribution and steal the Lord away from AP BREN.
Both purple buffs are going to be spawning very, very soon as well. So Bigatron Alpha, they want to give it over to Saken if possible on their end. AP BREN, they're not willing to go for these kind of contests. Don't want to go too deep. Most importantly, it's all about this Lord. It's going to be the be all end all. You see Few going for the recall after shoving in the bot width as well. So it does give them some room to work with. Super Win on the top side with the Immortality. Zorizo coming in bottom. Ogwen has no idea where this Franco is.
Wait, it's very obvious. Caltisi should know that Super Vid is actually up top right there, and it's
They're
very
not checking.
scary. Right? Flicker ultimate, and it will be Ed. So Rizal actually standing up, catching Baptiste though.
Be very careful. Final stage gonna be there. Super really showing up, looking for a target. Super Marco might be the target for him as well. Super Ken showing up. Who's gonna win the retreat fight? Lord going low, and it's gonna be Caltisi that gets the Lord of all things. Final slash coming back off cooldown. Super win falls. As Caltisi looking to run down Socket. Him and Few both have the immortality. Socket trying to keep this game alive for Pikachu Alpha, but it might not be enough as Super Marco guns him down. AP BREN have just done it 21 minutes in, Jace.
Super Marco literally won the whole team fight, right? He's already starting to become so big. The Bigatron Alpha, Sakan tries to dash around, but he's actually getting melted down instead. He's actually taking more damage than he could actually dish out. Now AP BREN is just Zorizo against the world. The core a little bit better right now. Husky
cannot do this. Zorizo just does not have enough to do it. With the Truntia keeping Few alive, the wave temporarily stifled, but the new one, the fresh one's gonna come in, led by the Lord himself. And he's trying his best, but it's just not sufficient. AP BREN with this game one, and what an explosive start to this best of 3. Just one step closer to overcoming Bigatron Alpha.
Yeah, no wonder AP BREN's so afraid of Bigatron Alpha, right? Just take a look. No matter how much pressure you put onto Super Ken, he's still able to shine. Bigatron Alpha, on the other hand, right? Once the late game starts to come into play, the Heart's Claws being built by the Beatrix can successfully, sustain throughout these long drawn out fights. And as long as they put bodies in front of Super Marco